Fragout Farva.
Fragout Farva.
No, that's I just hit the button. I can't change it. I really can't.
There's no going back now. There's no going back.
Mr. President, I already pressed the button. We're fine.
It's already done.
Where is it usually gives me this like.
What happened to Iran? I don't know. I pressed the button.
I'm so sorry, sir. Premature button pusher.
This so is funny. Let's refresh. Where is the link? It usually gives me a link. Where is the link? Oh, come on. Now I don't have one. Every other time I've always seen one. Now we're just live talking about a link. I'll figure this out, I think.
That's great.
Okay, so there's that. I got to find the link. I'm really annoyed about it.
Now I'm like superstitious how fat I look on TV.
Never look up there. That's a bad idea. No, yeah.
That's Gerber, right?
Yep.
Nice.
How do I do this? Copy invite link. That's not what I want.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to Gerber headquarters in Oregon, possibly in the
September or spring. We're not sure.
They kind of mentioned like a spring Oregon turkey hunt plus HQ visit, or maybe a fall blacktail.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Greg and I got to go blacktail this fall. So maybe Eric and Tyler or whoever else wants to join could go this year.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't figure this out. I don't know what to do.
You got this. You better, because if you don't, you're going to fixate on it. You're going to think about it the whole time.
That's what I'm doing right now.
You got this.
What should I be doing?
It would be a shit show when I come on the show.
Oh, no.
There was a way.
I mean, I'd love to give you the credit, but it's a shit show every time.
How do you have all these sponsors and you don't know what the hell you're doing?
Oh,
it's a miracle.
That's a question right there. I don't know what to tell you about that question. That's the thing. Is this how I do it? Pair channels? No, I don't know.
You know how I avoid this? I don't have all the sponsors. I'm kidding.
People like helping people.
People helping people.
People helping people. I hate to say it. I'm not going to be able to help you very much on this right now.
Add channel.
We just kind of sit here and we root for them and just provide moral support.
Yeah, they're just Eric. Like kind of like
you got it, Eric.
Sitting there laughing the whole time.
So we're live right now.
Oh yeah, this whole thing has been live. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Well, I can't find the damn link. I don't know what to tell you.
That's all right. We'll share it.
You got your this little bit of off-center OCD is.
Oh, here we go.
It's really grinding my gears.
Embed stream, is that how I do it? That can't be right. Oh, that's a code. That's not what I want. I want like a link, not an embed. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know.
That's all right. No, don't worry about it.
Usually it tells me share this with
you
other
let me
people,
down,
and then it didn't do it.
Drove all this way.
Pretty weird.
Kidding.
All right. Well, you might as well just go.
Yeah. Well,
this
hey guys,
is the Okayest Hunter podcast. Never pass on shooter bucks, if that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag. You hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
All right, welcome back to the Okayest Hunter podcast. We're in the studio.
The Oconomowoc studio.
Big O Town.
I'm in some random dude's basement.
The cat pee basement. How's the smell down here?
It smells pretty good. Puts the lotion on the skin.
You're stuck now, bitch. Can you climb out that window? Like
they put me in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
And nothing works.
Furthest away from, yeah.
Who the hell are these guys?
This is in my studio.
So we're live with Farva. Ryan, damn it! Don't correct me yet.
Here we go.
Lonergan.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Can you do the
Irish one?
Yeah. Lonergan.
Ooh,
that's way cooler.
Yeah,
definitely do that when introduction.
Yeah, you should just have an accent all the time.
Lonergan, or like the bullies in school called me Large again.
Oh,
they
dude, people suck.
Dicks. Fucking dicks.
I had a mullet in grade school.
Yeah.
I have a mullet now.
Or they enunciate Lonergan. It's just Lonergan. Like, why is it? It's Loner and Gan. It's like not that hard.
Lonergan.
Hey, you, Lonergan.
Or Farva.
Yeah, see, it's Lonergan. He's coming up to the bat, and he's gonna. Oh, there he goes. He's off to the.
Or
that came from.
Or Farva.
Fragout Farva. We're gonna hear that.
Fragout. Yeah.
So introduce yourself.
Oh boy.
Well, before you do though, I forget. See, this is what I mean. I don't want people do this with us, but
Did you get sponsors?
where's
you.
the?
That's good.
Okay.
He's good. Somebody's.
Did you
looking out
guys
for
see
him.
the post today? We made an announcement.
Oh, is that a multi-tool?
Yeah, it's a
Dude,
Gerber.
We got Gerbers issued to it in Iraq. We got these exact.
Really?
We got these exact
So
ones.
that's like an old friend.
Well, this is a little bit more robust than the ones we had, but we had like wire cutters, and the cool thing is like, so it doesn't look like it changed much, but the cool thing is like, you could like flip it out. Oh, they changed it. You can't flip it out. You used to be able to like just flip
flap.
it. Yeah, just whop.
Yeah, well, it probably just needs some like it needs to get broken in like a baseball glove,
Oh, I can't.
I like.
It just throws it at the ground. No, but we just made that announcement today.
That's
and,
awesome. Congrats. Yeah, those are nice.
Derek was saying we might be heading out that way to do some stuff.
Super useful. Very useful.
I
We also
built-
had a nice. I also had a nice Gerber switchblade too.
Ooh.
Like just really robust switchblade.
Yeah.
Fun fact: don't take apart any Gerber knife because you can't get it back together. But it was super sentimental. So like the previous addition to those, like where the tools are, this pin fell out on me one time, and all the tools fell out, and I gathered them, sent both knives to them, and they replaced them because they were sentimental. So great company, like absolutely incredible company. So congrats to you guys.
It's exciting. They're really nice and gracious over there. So they'll be. What's kind of fun is we have all these partners. They are very gracious in extending those things to our listeners, and really that's shown its face mostly at Foam Fest, where like they just pile on. Like there's like a couple weeks ahead of Foam Fest where like the UPS and the FedEx drivers are fighting over all the products that are coming to my doorstep.
The people who have attended Foam Fest have caught on, and they will be yearly attenders every year we do it, because the 40 or 50 people who show up leave with just tons of amazing prizes.
Shit ton of stuff.
Because we
wild.
get a ton of stuff. Their sponsors take care of everybody, and then
great.
we've got like a cozy attendance. It's not like wild, and like
It's great.
people leave happy.
That's really cool.
It's a good time, and there's gonna be more that we're gonna do to act. Well, I guess the marketing term is activate, but
Yeah.
we'll be doing more activations with giveaways and trying to find ways to bake that into our show, whether that's you call in and now you're entered into a drawing, or we have our daily deer. If you refer that, there's going to be a lot more of that stuff happening, because now we have the ability to go round robin to all sorts of different partners, and not stress one out too much where it's like, geez, Eric, you've really been asking for a lot of stuff. It's like we can round it out a little bit more. So Gerber's, fresh on. Quick Trip came on recently, so we saw that announcement maybe last week. Although someone said they saw the post, but didn't realize it was like an announcement post. So I'm apparently not very good at making
We're announcing
abundantly
it.
clear. But I'm wearing the See You Next Time shirt, so that's exciting.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
That's really cool. I've been meaning to get to Foam Fest too. Every
Well,
time,
it's a
every
good time, man.
time you have Foam Fest, like I have this summer, it's like a revolving schedule with my daughter. So it's like I can never.
We're changing the date this year. It'll probably be. I'm waiting for the confirmation from the venue, but I think it's going to be the 16th of August.
Nice. So not right at the end, a little bit more.
Yeah. A little bit middle month.
Yeah.
So that's actually a week after my event. I have a huge event on August 9th.
Okay.
Massive.
We should
do that.
Yeah.
You guys should come.
Where is it?
So it's going to be a barbecue rib competition, car show.
I'm in.
And we have Sig Sauer demo team coming.
No shit.
Jeez,
And we're raising money.
Way cooler than
The
ours.
All-American in Wisconsin get together.
So, I mean, I haven't really like officially announced it, but
It's official now.
We should also announce who he is and do.
We'll get to that, but yeah. So Nozzler's our presenting sponsor. I always like to make note of that. That's why I have like all these boxes of ammo back here, and there'll be. There's gonna be some fun development with those guys, because we want to do an educational series.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm deeming it Nozzler 101, to help us lay folk like Derek and I would put in that category of firearm. And we have them, we shoot them, but like I don't obsess over. Which I have the Powder Horn podcast, by the way, now. So like, if you want to go learn about firearms and all that stuff, go check out Jared and what he's doing. But the Nozzler 101 will be really idiots like us asking all of the dumbest questions.
Sure.
For you. So you don't have to ask them when you go to Cabela's or go to wherever.
Yeah, it reminds me of like if you go to the grocery store and you look at the ingredients and you're like, I don't know what half this stuff means. Like if I look at the ingredients of this ammo, what am I really looking at here? Like what range, velocity, 0 yards, energy? How do I compare that to another ammo on the shelf, and what does it actually mean? So they're going to kind of break down that level of Barney style.
I'll be honest with you. I think most of the people at Shields, when they buy ammo, they're looking at two things: the like color
the pretty
and
picture.
the price.
The color and the price.
basically it.
And that's
I don't
true.
speak this language.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
So again, just enthusiastically excited. Obviously, we did a whole freaking spiel about Rat Cup last week with all the shed hunting stuff. There's not a good need to be in your latitude right now. It's pretty cold outside, but as soon as it warms up, I'm climbing some trees and like flinging arrows. So
Awesome.
yeah, all that stuff. Anyway, tell us about yourself. Tell us about Fragout. We've been kind of in touch for a number of years now.
We've been Eric. We've been talking for years. Ever since I started the Fragout podcast. In all intents and purposes, it was founded for veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's turned into the #1 veteran podcast in the state. And I started at my kitchen table, and then just guest after guest after guest, I got a studio inside of a mortgage broker company. And
how'd you do that?
I interviewed one of their friends, and then they were like, "Hey, we love what you're doing." And at the time, I worked for the Pentagon, helping vets with veterans and service members with employment. And it was their office was literally 2 blocks from the National Guard Armory. And they were just like, "Hey, we love what you do. We love your background." And the job I had before that was working for the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs. So I've been helping veterans and service members and families for just over 18 years now. And I have helped and assisted over 10,000 veteran service members and families with various services like
It's amazing.
like employment, transition, education, VA claims, you name it. I've pretty much been exposed to it. Crisis intervention, suicide prevention, something like everything under the sun. So took all that experience because even when I was in the guards, I was served in Wisconsin Army National Guard for 6 years. Went to Iraq in 2009. And even when I was in the mill, I was helping my fellow service members with because I was in college, right? So I was like, "Hey, how did you get this benefit?" Or how do I do this? And I'll show you, or I'll help you. I even helped fellow soldiers fill out FAFSA, so federal financial aid. I was like, I geeked out.
Yeah. So do you have an affinity towards that stuff? Why would anyone want to do
because I think it's just super difficult for some people, and I wanted to kind of just be
it's super difficult for some people. I'll tell you.
I mean, life went full circle. You're sitting in the basement drinking bourbon. I mean, it's cool. I'm kidding, but I'm saying it's. I guess I saw the struggle with myself and other people, and I'm just like, well, maybe someone should just kind of know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? And and I would sit during drill weekends. I'd do homework sometimes, and I'd help people fill out their FAFSA. And some of them didn't know that they could fill out FAFSA. They could actually apply for FAFSA and use their GI Bill benefits. And what happens is that actually creates that doesn't void your FAFSA. If you have VA benefits, the school will take the VA benefits before they take the FAFSA.
So you're not pulling extra money that you don't need to pull.
Right. But if you only accept the grants are free money.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would instruct my veterans or service members, just only go for grants. You don't need the loans. So what happens is the schools will take the VA money, then you also have the grants. So then after that first month, then you get that grant money as a check. So I'm telling you, every semester, every fall and spring semester, I had anywhere from $1,200 to $7,000 in my bank account just from grants. So, and that's free money. I applied.
Well, they're looking to give that out to folks who need it.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's not like you're gaming the system, although not for bad reasons per se. You definitely you earned and are owed.
Yeah. But also think about, everyone's financial situation. Maybe it's a veteran, one of my closest buddies, my buddy Seth, served in the Navy, went to Whitewater with him. He's got a wife and 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, $7,000 with a family, that's a big chunk. That's a chunk. I don't care who you are.
My wife's in school for her master's degree right now. It's expensive. A. B. It's really hard. When you're doing school, it's all you can do.
Yeah.
It's really hard to work and do school. I've done that. It's really difficult.
Right. And that's the whole point of VA benefits, is to supplement that.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, I had 4 to 5 streams of income. So it's with the BAH, the basic allowance for housing, that kind of supplements having a full-time job. You can have a part-time. You can work when you get benefits. But the whole premise of this was, I used all the experience, created the Fragout podcast. and I just built up. I just started interviewing people left and right, like you name it. I just like, hey, that sounds like a cool story. Come on the show. Like, I want to interview you. I want to interview. And it kind of turned into not only interviewing veterans, but then interviewing local politicians, and then friends and family, anybody that I'm willing to get on the show that's like wants to be on a podcast. And then that turned into like legit fucking celebrities. Like Brendan Schaub came in the studio with Mark Harley, and then Chris Farley's older brother Tom was on the show 3 times, technically twice in person. And then Derek Van Orden's been on. I told you about him before we started. And then I think there's a lot, you know, the cool thing about what I do, what I love, what I do is that you look at all these other celebrity podcasts, and the people that they interview, we have like a 99% chance you'll never meet them, right? With the people that I interview, you have a 99% chance of running them into like at Walmart. So like that's a real fact. So but they have incredible stories. And with my work in the veteran community, helping veterans transition or whatever like that, you know, I've done over 240 episodes in just over 5 years. And what I've proven, I have quantifiable, qualitative and quantitative data, is that it doesn't matter what you did or didn't do in the military. We all have the same issues. And I've had men and women that were National Guard soldiers that never deployed, and I've had 3 special warfare operators, or 3 tier 1 operators. Like one was at Black Hawk Down, the other one was there when we got Saddam Hussein, and the other one was a SEAL, right? So, and guess what? They all had the same issues.
Most intense issues, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and they had the same issues transitioning. So like when veterans get together and they're like, oh man, like I could
to the civilian world, it's almost like a bit of a black box of there's no degree. It's like military is just all one broad stroke, and they don't necessarily know how to quantify what the ranks were, what that translates to. There's got to be someone that can help bridge that to help. Really, I think the civilian world needs more help understanding what qualifications in the military world will translate well. And obviously, I don't think a lot of folks who are in the military can be like great marketers for themselves to like help paint that. My wife said teacher, and she was trying to like not teach maybe, and she couldn't figure out what translated to the professional world outside of that curriculum. Like teachers don't even have LinkedIn accounts. They use like a whole different, they don't have like resumes. It's a whole different, you know, like
that's what we were just talking about before.
And I was like, well, there's a lot of soft skills that transfer. You have good work ethic, creativity, strong organization skills. Your written word is amazing. All in the military, it's got to be way harder.
Right.
Like most people understand what a teacher does.
Right.
Most people have no idea what goes on in the military.
And that was part of my job, is like soft and hard skills. So like soft skill is like, computer data management, right? Hard skill is like, I know how to drive a forklift. Like, but you put a veteran down in front of him and ask him like, hey, give me 3 hard and 3 soft skills.
Yeah.
What joke's gonna come out of that?
My name is Jeff. Like,
my name's Jeff.
That's literally like I'm not trying to be mean, but I'll be honest with you. Like, it doesn't matter if they were a private or, I mean, I've helped generals write their resumes. They all have significant issues trying to translate what they do. And a lot of them want to be grandiose and grandstand and like, I was the #1 paralegal in the Defense Department. Yeah, you're applying for a job to sell light bulbs at Home Depot. Like, calm the fuck down, bro. Like, or they were just straight up assholes. Like, I helped a 30-year-old, he served 30 years as a senior level NCO, which is in the enlisted side of the military, right? Command Sergeant Major is like, you're in charge of hundreds, maybe a couple thousand soldiers, right? And he was just an asshole. And I was like, I just couldn't help him. Like, he couldn't take his rank off. And that's the biggest issue with a lot of people that leave. So guess what? He sells light bulbs now at Home Depot. The
other part of that, though, is Derek mentioned ego, but the other part is like when I went to go work in the outdoor category, I took a very significant pay cut to leave IT to go. And I couldn't expect a new employer in a different industry to A, understand, or B, compensate me for it. It's not a 1-to-1.
Right.
And so I've interviewed people now that I've been doing this for a while, and they're like, hey, I'm like #1 in the mortgage, I'm like, yeah, but that has nothing to do with how you're going to help our like ammunition client or our, like, you're going to have to take I can't pay you what you're worth over there. It's not your currency. It's a different currency almost.
Yeah.
What's interesting about the transition, you talked about the transition that like Holly was making from one to the other, like your transition back into like, more civilian life and then starting the podcast, like you're still doing the same thing. And I think that was probably the underlying thing is like, you're still helping people just in a totally different scope. It's not like hand over hand. Hey, I'm going to help you with this. It's now you're sharing stories and going over things that are going to help, hopefully a broader base of folks that you may never come in contact. I think that's a really cool, like underlying principle that obviously is really important to you is to like help these people who
exactly that
mean a lot to you.
Exactly that. In a roundabout way, I mean, I've always been a talker, like straight up, like I just always talk. Like I'm a pretty open book, guys. Like I can talk about anything. Like I'm not afraid of my past. My reputation pretty much speaks for itself, and I've never lied about anything. But like when I was younger, I was in special education, and I had special education teachers literally like hand me newspapers and be like, "Get used to looking for jobs because that's all you're going to amount to, because that's what you're going to do, and you're a talker, and you're not going to get a good job." And well, joke's on them because nobody fucking reads newspapers anymore, right? and now I figured out a way. Like what you guys have here, we've monetized talking. Essentially, talking is becoming like this is a independent media is fucking powerful, and I never intended it to be that way, but it's turned into this like what you guys have. It's just this cool thing that everyone thinks that they're really good at talking, but then you press record and. My name is Jeff, like that it's real life. But circling back to the veteran thing and just helping people out. And we talk about really serious issues on the show. I mean, I had my recruiter, Tracy, she was on the episode. She's on the podcast. She talked about being sexually assaulted overseas. And I never knew that. I've known her for 20 years. And
wow.
I've never known that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had many other female veterans on the show talk about sexual assault, which is rampant in the military. And it's awful. It's absolutely awful. But it's a hard topic for people to talk about. And I'm just like, tell me. Only if you want to. Like I would never press even if I knew it, right? We talk about suicide, we talk about my suicide attempts too. I'm a dual suicide survivor. We talk about those and like what led up to that. And then like how did I get to where I'm at now? I don't know if you guys know anything about the veteran community much, but we're at a new war. We're at a war of bureaucracies, access to healthcare, access to information, resources. It is just a mountain of paperwork. That's our new war, and that's what's hurting us. And if I can bring experts on, people that are better than me, and have them share stories and information, and we could save a life, done. Easy days.
Absolutely.
Easy days.
Question for you around the ability to transition out. There's a lot more I want to get to that relate to like hunting and outdoors because there's a lot of groups that I think there's a lot of healing in that and camaraderie and so forth. But the network of people that served in a particular branch of the Department of Defense, does that if someone like obviously yourself now you're in this professional realm and like you pull your people into that with you to a degree. If someone's in the Navy, it's like, do you find your other Navy people that have maybe 5 years on you that they got out, or if you can find the people that got out a year ahead of you, or hey man, do you got any connects for me? Like I look at it like a brotherhood or like what's it called? Not a sorority. Fraternity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's a sorority too sometimes.
Yeah. I guess so. Right. So if you have
a lot of cattiness.
if you have that fraternity or sorority type, is that type of thing happening too? Because a lot of times people join those damn things because it's like my boy's going to hook me up because we were in the frat together or whatever.
Let me pay for friends.
But like, no, we were in the Corps. Like, let's go. Is there some of that happening too? Where these guys have like their own community and gals have their own community to like get
like the alumni network of the military.
Exactly.
Yeah,
thank you. Why am I over complicating this?
I love what you were just saying.
I think you were just asking, is there a network? Yeah, there is.
100%. Yep. The network. It's like a movie.
The simple answer, Eric, yes. There is a network.
It's not underground.
It's absolutely wild. It's like I pick on myself when I was in the mill, and like no one really asked me for advice much. Unless like they really needed help. But it's like when I see like higher ranking individuals like never really asked me for advice. But then like now that I've been out for 13
Because they
years.
had rank on you, man.
Well, they pretended like they knew everything, and then
Yeah,
like,
they
and
can't
they
ask
have
some, you know,
to.
they can't ask a lowly.
Yeah. That's called
rank.
fraternization, bro.
Look at this
Look
fucking
like I'm going to
private
ask him
thing.
for help.
This
You want to help me later?
big fucking.
I order you
fat
to help
piece of
me
shit
later.
over here, right? But then they reach out to me, you know, like I mean, I had one of my NCOs, really good guy. He actually lives kind of
He's
close
like,
to.
hey, Farv, does that look like spit to you?
Give leader a call.
And it begins. And
Sorry.
no, it's okay. But they reach out, and I'm even whether they were mean to me or not, I always want to be able to help them, and I always try to provide the best service possible. Like, no joke, I can show you the message I got right before bed last night. My friend Kayla messaged me. She's like, "Hey, I have there's my neighbor or something like that. She wants to get information about her brother that served. Where should we go? Have her contact her county veteran service officer, and they can do a next of kin request for service records." And she's like, "Oh, is that easy? Yeah. Okay. Good night." Like, that's it. Like,
Wait, do you have access to like some databases and stuff?
Public databases?
No,
What
I
you're
don't.
referencing?
I don't. But county veteran service officers do, and like sometimes you can get DOD, or I'm sorry, you can do a congressional request through your congressman and stuff like that, or congress lady, which are really, really effective. It usually speeds up the process. But the network is great because, like, whether you have veterans that are entrepreneurs or going to college, the community is great, especially when you're doing the right thing and you're really trying to help people. But on the opposite side of that, the veteran community is like the hunting community, where you have people that are really trying to bring positivity and help people. But then the other side of that is you have people that are just straight up assholes, and they're like super negative, and they bring people down, and they're really horrible ambassadors. And I really actively avoid that toxic fuel. Like, I just avoid toxic fuel. Like, I'm like, all right, cool, have fun with that. I'm going to be over here. Like, and you know what? And being over here, way smaller crowd. Like, oh, sometimes you're by yourself.
That's a message I got from Gary Vaynerchuk, I don't know, a decade ago, of like, you don't have to build the tallest building by tearing other buildings down. You can just go try to actually build the tallest building.
That's great.
And like, if someone else is trying to build the tallest building too, then you guys can compete and work together or something, but you don't have to tear theirs down.
Right.
And that's like the most obvious thing in the world. That's what we try to do here. Like, I'm not going to tear anyone else down, but I'm also not going to like participate with tearing down in any other capacity. We're just going to keep trying to build our building over here.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, there's where I kind of play both sides of that is there's a thing in accountability is the word I use a lot. So if you're doing the wrong thing, I'm going to let you know you're doing
Which was that Jocko that wrote Extreme Accountability?
Yeah. Extreme ownership.
Oh yeah, okay.
Extreme ownership.
Same thing.
Jocko. January 24th, 2004. Like, that's literally that's what Jocko is. He's an incredible human. And but
I'll have some questions about that later.
But accountability, there's really horrible organizations. So Wisconsin has 1,800 veteran nonprofits. There's 50,000 veteran nonprofits nationwide.
Holy shit.
And so, like, just the other day, so you go on the podcast page, the American Legion shared their 2023-2024 tax return. They have $98 million of questionable spending. So like $42.8 million is like unaccounted for. Like, they can't tell you what they spent it on. And then
accounting is really hard, though. Like, at that level of the complexity sounds terrible. It's probably just cheeseburgers.
But I mean,
hot dogs.
$42.8 million, and then $22.8 million for salaries, and then $33 million for mailing and postage.
So, but what's interesting about that? When I worked in IT, like 4 years ago now or whatever, I remember like getting an RFP request for proposal or RFI request for information, one of the two, and it was from like local like postal things, I think.
Sure.
And I was like, well, they have to update their security systems to meet a new level of criteria that's been mandated, and the government is releasing like $1 billion into this thing.
Right.
By the time it trickled down to every entity, it's like, well, we have $7,000 or so. I was like, the fuck am I gonna do with that?
What are you gonna do?
I can't help you with this.
Right.
And they're like, well, that's what we have. I was like, well, I don't know. So it sounds like a lot, but I bet by the time it gets brushed across everything, you spread the peanut butter on the bread, it's probably a pretty thin layer.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know.
I'm not really sure. I just like I'm not a part of the Legions. I was a senior vice commander of Appleton VFW for a couple of years, and I'm not a fan of those legacy organizations. The veterans that I hang around, majority of the veterans, the young, like veterans my age, maybe 10
How
years
old
older.
are you?
I'll be 38 in May.
All right, we're like the same age. Yeah.
But most of the vets that I hang out with, whether they're still serving or they my age or they're maybe a couple years older than me, most of them aren't going to the VFW or American Legion. And the reason why is because they want to be with their families or they want to be active, right? Someone that asked me the other day, like, hey, Ryan, what's your favorite bar to go to? I go to the deadlift bar. You know what I mean? Like,
Nice. Yeah.
like
We're of a different generation. I think I remember applying for a landscape job when I was young, and they're like, it says here you don't smoke. Are you one of those new fandangled kids that doesn't like cigarettes? I was like, are you discriminating because I don't smoke cigarettes? Yeah, I don't fucking like cigarettes.
You smoke this right now. You got the job.
He's
you
like,
got the job.
You're not hard enough for us.
don't mock me because I don't want cancer.
It was wild, man. I was like, what?
I'm gonna leave now.
Like,
Oh,
I was
man.
being classified as this new fandangled generation that doesn't like cigarettes. I was like, all right, bro, like, cool, good luck with that. I don't understand.
That's a weird flex.
But we really do. We value things differently as a generation now, and it's not even all monetary. It's like, yeah, I want time, I want flexibility, I want to be able to. I got to take my kid to the doctor today. I'm gonna go be there with him because someone's gonna stick him with a big needle. He's gonna be terrified.
Yeah,
damn right, Dad's gonna be there. I don't know that dads 2 generations ago even knew that their kids got shots.
I don't know if they knew they went to the doctor.
They didn't even know. Oh, you got good job,
Did you
Junior.
go to the doctor this year?
Tough it
Oh,
out.
good.
Yeah, good
I
job,
think so.
honey.
I think I'm good.
Modern dads are different these days, and parents and all that stuff. It's a whole different paradigm.
100%. One of my favorite questions is to ask is like, so like obviously like look at Vietnam. You know, Vietnam, it was a police action, but what happens, or even World War II, whatever you want to look at it, is like, you know, these older vets, you know, they're going to be gone soon, right? We're not going to have any more World War II or Vietnam. That's very, very soon. But my $1 million question is like where I'm at, like with the younger vets. Younger vets are in the CrossFit gym. They're taking care of themselves. They're really focusing on their health. Most of them are. But what if we would have put the American Legions and VFWs inside of the YMCA? YMCAs have been around for over 100 years. They're older than any of the wars, right? So imagine where they would have been, where they would be now had they would have been taking care of their bodies and minds. See what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Mhm.
then.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but they decided to create bars and disassociate themselves from society. And that's kind of like what granted, society, especially with Vietnam vets, they were kind of upset with them,
Mhm.
right? Which was
Yeah, you're right.
which is bullshit, right? I mean, if you were upset with them, like you're catty as shit. But they also kind of hurt themselves also, like disassociating themselves. I mean, they didn't feel welcome. I understand that psychology behind it, but you didn't do yourself any favors, right?
That's a tough one, right?
It is a tough one
because they went through so much shit, and like
they did,
and they felt like, you know, I'm sure it was like, well, hey, I'm gonna hang out with the people who dealt with this shit, and we're gonna drown our sorrows together, and we're just gonna pretend it didn't happen in this realm, you know, like. So I see where they're coming from, but I definitely understand what you're saying. That if like, like those steps had been in place then, where would you be now?
And I'm not saying they did anything.
Yeah,
I'm just
for
like,
sure.
You do the best with the tools you have at the time you have them.
100%.
You know, and that's
100%.
you can't blame people for that. That's happening today, and then in 20 years, when we look back, like, "Ooh, we should have done this." It's like, well, we didn't know any better,
right,
at that time.
With the CrossFit where I'm at now, I got to shout out my friend, you know, Destiny, that owns Bad Batch CrossFit, and my buddy James that started it too. My buddy James, like, he's a West Pointer. Like CrossFit to me, especially that gym, we've created the 21st century VFW. In the essence of like, we got veterans coming in, working out, sweating, and most people I work out with aren't even veterans. Like, they're like moms and like, you know, people that work in factories, and they're just crushing it. Like, they're way stronger than me. They have way more stamina than me. And like, I walk around there like, well, hey, back in the day, like I could climb that goddamn rope with my pinky. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not saying. But I mean, I like being around like-minded people, and it's goal-oriented, high tempo, high performing people. And if the task of the day was like, hey, you got to do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 calorie burn on this AMRAP in the gym, and then you got to do, you know, 150 deadlifts of 95 pounds. Okay, let's fucking go.
Yeah, dragging a deer will be real easy after that. I mean, not literally right after, but you know.
But
a day or two after,
it feels so good though. Like, I feel so good, so accomplished, right? So that's
very different.
Right.
Culture.
I feel like I'm always trying to do. I feel I'm involving myself in things that I don't see other veterans doing. I'm just like, hey, if I like it, maybe there'll be a couple other people that like it. You know what I mean? And if you suffer together, you succeed together. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like,
there's some good. So talk about some of the military or like the veteran organizations that wrap around the hunting industry. Like you're wearing the Sitka jacket on the way in here. I know that they're big proponents of Folds of Honor, as an example.
Yeah.
And I've seen them with some other organizations. There's Boot Campaign I've seen Spartan Forge deal with in the past, although I think they have switched to some other ones.
Sure.
There's a lot of bigger orgs, and I've heard things similar to like, if you can't donate X, then you can't donate. And maybe not on the military side, but I've heard that on like, well, not RMEF, or there's other ones like that. If we like, because Okayest Hunter tried to donate to bigger orgs, and when we first started doing this, we were tiny. We're still incredibly tiny, but we had no money. And they're like, I'm like, well, if I could pay you $5, wouldn't you want to take the $5? Or is it too much cost and processing fees that it's not worth it? Like making pennies, apparently.
Right.
Are there organizations that you think are really well aligned with the hunt category that do a really good job? Are there some that you favor? Not to put any others down, but tell us why you like certain ones, or which ones you think are doing things uniquely or different. I'm sure they all have various different purposes. Like some of the organizations, the hunting community that do conservation, some are just really big with lobbying in Washington.
Oh yeah.
Or some are really big advocates of, conservation and buying up properties for access. There's different. They have different like skill sets that they focus on. You know?
Yeah. And I don't want to forget all of the ones I've been associated with.
You will, because you're live and you're recording. So my name is Jeff.
I'll just kind of...
It's okay.
That should have been the name of the show. My name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
And like as you open the show,
I love that.
It's got that scene from
clip.
22 Jumps. My name is Jeff.
I love that clip.
It's the greatest clip.
Okayest Hunter.
No, that's an old. I don't even know where to find that file.
Someone's
anymore.
gonna watch this show and they're gonna go into a board meeting. What's your name? My name is Jeff. That's just gonna be stuck in their head. I'll just start off with like, one, actually the founder just texted me before I walked in the door. My buddy Joe Wessner. He's a Iraq Afghan war vet. 3 Purple Hearts, got blown up 37 times.
What the fuck?
He got
Is he still in one piece?
Yeah. He looks like an unemployed youth football coach. Just big old beard. Like you would never known that this guy is legit badass. Like I love this man to death. He got slashed in a room clearing. There was a surgeon behind the door, and he's
got stories for days.
Oh yeah. But anyway, so he founded an incredible organization called Ultimate Veteran Adventures, and they take veterans on hunting trips throughout the country. He's even sent veterans to Africa for some African hunts and stuff like that. I've been pervy enough to be associated with him, and I got invited by him. He acted as the outfitter. And then in 2023, I got an invite by another hunting organization called House in the Woods in Lee, Maine. And that was founded by Paul House after his son died in Iraq. And this place is legit, middle of northern Maine. I went on a black bear hunt, and I got my first black bear in northern Maine.
Wow.
And it was like, I got goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah, there they are.
They're fucking right there, man. And I was like, from me to that doorway, from a 330-pound sow in a chair blind. Didn't even know what the fuck the chair blind. It was just a folding chair with a bloop like that. And I hotboxed it with a thermocell.
Those thermocels can put some heat in.
It looked like I had a Traeger. Just
a little smoky.
I was like, yeah, what are you doing, Snoop Dogg? It's just like, it just pushed everywhere. But also when I went,
mosquitoes are getting in this bitch.
Hi, I'm permethrin.
Yeah. Mosquito comes in and just dies, right?
That's great.
So, but when we were hunting, it was 90 plus degrees every day.
Jesus.
So I had to wait, and I went to the same spot 3 days in a row, and then the last night I went to a different spot. It was on the top of a mountain, and it was a little colder. And all of a sudden, these bears just come rolling in. They got a nice 100+ pound yearling. And the rule of thumb with black bears, or bears in general, are if their paw is as big as like a dollar bill, that's a shooter bear. Is what the guys.
Shooter bear. You got that bear once, right? Did you get a bear? The one that got stuck in your cooler.
Yeah, I got 2 of them.
2 bears.
Bear's so good.
It is delicious.
It's so good.
Bear ribs.
Oh, I didn't take the ribs. But so House in the Woods, so they have the entire lodge. So the center is like the main hall where you sit and have meals. There's couches, a TV, and then on the outside it's rooms. So it's actually legally classified as a hotel.
Really?
Yeah, and they have a downstairs indoor archery range and everything like that.
Wow.
It's legit. So I mean, it was incredible. House in the Woods, incredible. I highly encourage veterans to apply for their bear retreats, and they also do. You can apply for a moose tag. So like they get moose tags
Yeah,
donated.
that's cool. Wow.
They do turkey hunts. I think they do some deer, but deer, believe it or not, whitetail are not common in Maine. Bears are actually way more common. Like you shoot a 6-point buck in Maine, you're like, oh, like you're like a god. It's super rare. Like you shoot an 8-pointer, you'll probably get like free parking spots like everywhere for the rest of your life. It's a real thing.
My kind of place.
Yeah. So House in the Woods, Ultimate Veteran Adventures. I actually led a hunt in September up in Hudson for goose hunting with Chance Wadsworth, who is the reigning 2-time world goose calling champion. Did that with a bunch of vets, and that was bananas. So much fun. Another one I love is so it's not an organization, it's a company, but Zero Dark 30. They have this really cool place up in Amberg called Veterans Haven. It's how many acres do they have? 200 or 180 acres squared off. And I went up there for a deer hunt. Another great organization here in the state of Wisconsin is called Camp Victory in Clark County. Probably named after you.
Oh yeah, it's very important. It's been in the family for a long time.
So Clark County, if you know anything about Clark County, like high concentration of Amish, and it was absolutely incredible. They have 220 acres of private hunting land, and I went up there for a bow hunt. I got my first doe with my bow ever.
Sweet.
First deer ever.
That?
Huh?
What year was that?
This was this past year.
Really?
Yeah, my
Good for you.
first
Congrats.
deer
Jeez,
ever.
Congrats, man.
It's just ice right now, but
That's cool.
yeah, I've got my first deer with a bow ever, and that was exhilarating. Camp Victory is incredible. My buddy Matt is the executive director. He lives up there full time with his wife and his kids. I highly encourage veterans.
Do these organizations need any type of support?
Oh yeah,
Like volunteer? What's a good way to support or like get involved to try to
honestly,
help?
I mean, from talking to all of them, like Camp Victory definitely can use donations. You know what I mean? I'm cutting in and out. Is that
Yeah,
that
I
matter?
don't know.
That Mike has done that a couple times.
I don't know if that's affecting the show, guys. So
I think it's all.
do I need to be
good.
closer to the mic?
That sounds sexy. Yeah, do that.
Kind of like
Yeah.
SNL.
I thought it was
I can't wait
my-
to see your sweaty
Just
balls.
talk a lot
Like,
I thought it was
slower.
just my headset because it's my headset's good.
No,
stuff.
it's doing it.
is it kind of like a headset in a plane where there's like a delay?
It should be. It's a dynamic
Okay,
mic.
Got it.
Whatever that means.
but with that
Very dynamic.
with Camp Victory, I mean, honestly, nonprofits, we all know the game. They operate on donations. So if you want to donate money, they actually have like a huge sponsor board outside their main lodge. So if there's companies that want to donate money to them, like a certain amount, they get their name on the side of the building.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. But here I am sitting in a tree stand. Here's the deal, guys. I've been shooting archery since 21, right? I have a Matthews Halon 5, and I was doing 3D archery events like nonstop, boom, boom, boom. And I've never really spent any significant amount of time in a tree stand until last season. I've spent, I think, what did I accumulate? I did the math. I think I had like 80 hours.
Wow.
You strike me as someone that likes math.
I really don't. Yeah, I'm
I
really
mean,
horrible.
Doing
You ask any?
FAFSAs and stuff like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this really mundane stuff that everyone hates.
Hey, it's a full-time job now.
You got to do something that no one else wants to do. You
Yeah.
found a
It's
niche.
all-
I
pain
think that's
point.
the definition of entrepreneur.
I think that's
Yeah,
it.
it's a good point. What am I doing? I'm not, so I want to do this.
But I was sitting in the tree stand, and like the creepiest part of the hunt of Camp Victory is that. So I would I did the morning hunt one time. I didn't do it. I only did the afternoon hunts. Yeah, I've realized afternoon hunts is where it's at. And the sun's going down, and like 4:45, 5 o'clock, you start hearing the Amish carriages roll down the road.
Oh, really? You could hear them?
The click,
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 clop,
click,
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 clop.
click, click, and then the wheels rolling. I'm like, I'm about to get murdered. Like, this is like the creepiest.
The
thing.
Amish mafia is coming
I
for
was
me.
like, this is wild. And like, it was every night. I was like, bro, they're like right there. Like it wasn't like super
Were they all
scary.
quiet? They're just not talking.
You just don't hear anything.
Straight faced.
Like you think of like, like where we live, like, like you think of bass and like loud music. Nope, just horses. And I'm just like, where am I? Like, it was kind of creepy, but I got a nice big old fat doe. She was a big girl. I saw the body. I was only in the tree stand 15 minutes,
Really?
and she
That's
just
the
comes
best.
rolling in, and I was left staring at her, and I'm just like, I don't really want to shoot you. And then she like put her head down the feed in the leaves, and I saw her body just go like this, and I'm like, and you can't. And I was pretty high up. I was probably 20 feet. Like it was a really big stand, really tall stand. You can't really tell how big they are from
Yeah.
It what is that like?
It's like when you're at the petting zoo and you see those fat goats. Like you're looking down on them from a bit of a height.
Right.
Those goats are pretty small. And you like that. You said like when you're looking down in the profile and the belly's just hanging out the sides, you're like,
Right.
that's a big doe.
Right.
Or goat.
I'm trying. So what I do is I look at the neck proportionate to like, I think it's like the back, like the neck to like the spine or like the back. Like I look at her, this is the top of her back. And I was trying to like proportion it a little bit. And I'm like, oh, she's a big one. And I was like, all right, well, here we go.
Game on.
Game on. I had like these really cool, I forgot what tips I had. Like they were mechanical, but they open up. I think they were like Rampage or something. I don't remember what they were.
Rage.
I think they're Rages. Yeah, like they have 3 or 4.
Wait, will you
openers.
shoot again? We were just talking about this.
Grim Reaper.
Okay.
No,
That's what I was
they're Reapers. That's
Yeah.
what they are. Yeah. Amazing.
They're awesome.
Oh, they're you're talking
Yeah.
like this. And so I got a great shot, long. It deflected off the. So she was broad. Obviously, she was broad. Hit the long, and then it hit her other leg, and it ricocheted off the leg, and it went through her belly. So when I found her, she had guts hanging out because it ricocheted off. But
Yep.
I hit lung initially, double lung. She ran like 120 yards and found her, and
That's awesome.
we had her skinned and cut up within 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Good for you, dude.
Well,
Better than that bear hunting 90 degrees.
dude. So I didn't get to finish that bear hunt. Sorry. I'm so excited. I mean, you
There's a
asked
lot
about.
to
You asked
talk
about.
about.
There's so much to talk about, but there's so many great veteran nonprofits that are taking veterans hunting. And hunting for me, I grew up in West Dallas, like 68th and Lincoln, man. Like
You're not hunting there.
yeah. I mean,
I don't
like
know.
there
Well,
was
maybe
no,
for something, but I don't know.
there was no reason to hunt, right? And I went to Waukesha. What is it? Waukesha Sportsman's Club for my hunter safety, and I got kicked out my first time because they were talking about hot loads of powder guns, and they're like, "Oh, make sure you don't put too much gunpowder in. You might have a flamethrower and start the forest on fire." I'm like, "Cool," and they're like, "You got to get the fuck out of here." Like, I was like, "Whatever, right? Whatever."
I'm a teenage boy.
Yeah, I was
Come
in
on.
7th grade, I think. I was like, anything was funny to me, right? Like, kind of like health class. Don't laugh at penis. I'm laughing, bro.
You said it. Teacher said it.
But hunting for me, like, it's super therapeutic. It's a challenge. Like, now I have a reason to like not only work out for my kids because I don't want to be that dad that's like out of shape and like not do like that scares the shit out of me.
Mhm.
Like, I go to the park and I see. No offense to these. Well, full offense actually. I see these dads just on their phones and they're just piles. And I'm just like, your kid's like wanting you to play with them. Like, what are you doing? Like, Instagram can wait. Your stupid Candy Crush, if people still play that, whatever it is, like, go be active with your kids. So
Mhm.
hunting is the reason why I stay in shape. The reason why I can hike. I mean, I have a purpose to go hiking and carry stuff on my back. Yeah, I was in the infantry. Carrying stuff on my back was like, that was part of the job, but it was like, I get to use all of those skills for hunting, but also it's malleable to being a parent. So it's like, hey, Dad, let's go to the playground. Yeah, fuck yeah. It's like, be a monster and chase me. Yeah, let's go. Do the 30 minutes nonstop.
It's that kind of stuff. I think we all appreciate that kind of stuff. And anyone listening who's a parent, I remember reading something. This was years ago. I don't even know if my kids are big enough to go to the park yet, but it was something that, parents looking at their phones at the park, kids look back at their parents for reassurance, which gives them
Constantly.
confidence to try things. And every time you aren't giving them visual reassurance, they get afraid, more afraid or more timid to try new things, even
Yeah.
at a playground, which in the end, has big dividends on like them being outgoing or them being, not so introverted or whatever. So like that's always stuck with me, and that kind of piece to it. And then the other piece that you said that I thought was really interesting and made me think of a gentleman that I think very highly of, who's a veteran. He was a military sniper, but the relation of like what you've done in the military with your pack, like just how that translates. And I think that's what's such a great thing with hunting is like, man, the skill set that you've just bred forever, like in your career through the military, blah, blah, blah. Then you drop back into civilian life. Hunting is that perfect, like
outlet.
Here's your outlet.
Yeah,
Like, here's what you do.
100%.
Like Tony Van Asten, who I've had on Dropping Pins and who I talk to all the time, he is a phenomenal deer hunter. Well, he was a sniper like for a long time, so he's studied, like, right, like, so it works.
He pays attention to really specific details.
And it works, and it's beautiful. Like, here's something for you to do that's, you know, gonna scratch
100%.
that itch or whatever.
Right. No, that's great. It's 100%. I mean, my favorite part about hunting is laying all my gear out. And in the military, we call it PCCs and PCIs, so pre-combat checks and pre-combat inspections, right? So it's like I'm just going through things like, okay, I have my flashlight, but do I have at least 2 extra sets of batteries for my flashlight? And these are small things that most hunters don't think about. First aid kit, tourniquet. But the thing is, like, I have a tourniquet because I know how to fucking use it. Some of these goons don't know how to use a tourniquet. Like, I literally saw a hunter like, oh, I got shot in the neck. I'm going to put a tourniquet on my neck. Congratulations. You're never waking up.
That's not where you want to put it.
That's not where you put a tourniquet.
You don't
it's
put
like,
the belt around your neck and
Start spinning, buddy. Keep going. How's that oxygen flow looking?
That's not funny. I'm sorry.
how was your hunt? I don't know. I slept the whole time. Oh, gee, I wonder why. So, I mean, you have to know how you use your gear, and, you know, you get excited about your gear, but gear is, you know, it's a tool, you know, and in the mill, like, I mean, I make sure I look over my gear. I look over, like, whatever I'm using, my bow or my gun, you know, I'm making sure my turrets are tight.
Making sure everything's all squared away.
Everything's squared away, because something could happen. Something will happen, you know, and it all boils down to physical fitness. Like, here's the deal. I'm 6 foot, 330 pounds, but at the end of the day, I'm still, like, I'm crushing CrossFit. I'm lifting a lot of weight. You know, I'm deadlifting 300 plus pounds. Like, I mean, I know
You're
that
a pretty strong fella.
I would like to think I'm pretty strong. I know that there's someone bigger out there. There's always someone bigger. But if I get into an issue in the woods, I know at least at minimum I can crawl my way out.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? So that I take that very seriously. But as far as, like, what you said, like, transferable skills, like, I'll be honest, my favorite part about hunting is actually early morning, whether I'm walking to a stand, a blind, or the duck boat.
Taking a shit in the woods. I'm just kidding.
Like,
Laying a big
brings me
one on a
right
log.
back.
Oh,
yeah, goddamn post-traumatic stress.
It's
Kicking my
that,
ass.
it's that freaking coffee, you know?
But it's that under red lens or green lens.
Oh, yeah.
Just walking there, and I'm just like,
The moonbeam.
I'm in the shit. I am back in the shit. I can hear Creedence Clearwater Revival in my head. It's like, yeah.
Does that bring anything negative back for you? Like, do you think I've yet to talk to? I have friends that are veterans. A lot of them, actually. Like, a lot of my close friends have served, and none of them have any. Like, my one buddy, who I know listens, and I don't know if he'll hear this episode, but, like, fireworks are a no go.
Oh,
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah.
But in the woods, there's gunshots going off and shit. Totally fine. You know, it's interesting.
I think it's all situational with
The
veterans.
woods is just like, it's such a peaceful place or something. There's a lot of healing that goes on there.
The fireworks conversation is a heated thing in our community. It's heated because 4th of July, you're not. What are you going to do? Tell people they can't use fireworks? And I understand that there are people out there that have significant post-traumatic stress, and I'm not trying to downplay it, because
It's serious.
I have post-traumatic stress, but it's not related to firefights or explosions, right? But the thing is, in our community, and I'd be a horrible person if I didn't mention, is that most of the people, or let me rephrase it, most of the veterans that are complaining about fireworks and post-traumatic stress are ones that never fucking actually fought in a firefight. Majority, they're using it. It's an attention-seeking behavior. That's all it is, and that is a undeniable fact. Is that, like, I know people, there's someone on my block, he was a mechanic, and it's just like, oh, I don't like fireworks, bro. Like, you play war games every day. Like, you know, I guess what's the difference? Obviously, 4th of July comes around. I would say the week before, the week of, and the week after, you should expect to hear an explosion, right? But obviously, if I'm, like, in the middle of March and I hear it, I'm like, well, what was that?
There's certain holidays where people buy they clearly bought too many and they're looking for any excuse to go fire them off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do I need to call? Are there gunshots going off right now? Like, in our neighborhood, there's a certain neighbor down the road that'll, like, they're pretty liberal with their fireworks. America, all for it. Yeah. But Jesus, man, like, that was a while ago. It was a while ago. My kids are trying to sleep, you asshole.
I guess I'd also like to know if, like, are these individuals, are they going to concerts too? concerts are loud. There's
I know
regular
that.
exposure.
I know my one buddy that I mentioned. It's pretty legitimate and certainly not part of that other end of the statistic. But I don't know. I don't see like the woods doesn't carry that with it. I don't think. I think it's got enough power to calm all the other stuff.
I think it's calm. I think it's peaceful.
I think it's. I mean, I don't know. As a child, I had some crazy shit, but I was the kind of kid that literally ran off into the woods and like built forts, started fires, got lost on purpose, like tried to get myself like all this stuff. And to me, the woods is like I have a strong association with healing.
Yeah.
The tranquility, I don't even know. It doesn't make any sense. Like it's probably where God lives in my mind. Like that's kind of it. It's very spiritual.
That's beautiful.
So I think, that's why I talk about the organizations that are close to hunting. Obviously it's a hunting podcast, so I'm doing my best to bring it back.
there is overlap in what I do and what you guys do. There really is. And one nonprofit that I forgot to mention is that I didn't forget. I haven't had an opportunity. Is
you just hate them?
The Horicon Veteran Marsh, the Horicon Veteran Duck Hunt, and the Horicon.
Oh, is that the one that Matt Strime does?
I'm not sure.
Matt does a big veteran thing with Horicon Marsh every year.
I'm not sure if that's the. I mean,
well, I'm
sounds
sure
like there's a pretty good probability, but I'm not positive.
It's been going on for 16 years, I think. Yeah, this will be 17 years. I've been going the last 6 years, and it's the largest veteran hunt in the country. Wow. They have 80 plus veterans from around the country come in.
That's freaking cool.
And that's where I learned how to duck hunt. And every year it's an absolute, like, it's a legit party. But you come and, like, if you don't come to expect to shoot ducks, like that's a bonus.
Yeah,
right.
The camaraderie.
Bingo.
Yeah, the other stuff is just that's bonus.
Right.
Like I think I made a post last hunting season. I was like, I looked around. We were all in the parking lot. My buddies. Some of us only see each other at this time of year, and I'm like, hunting is just a fucking excuse for what's really going on here.
Yeah.
Which is we just get to hang out with our friends.
Right.
Right. That's not entirely true for bow season. It's a whole different game.
Right.
But the gun one, I'm like, this is just a big old, like anyone that gets a deer, it's like, oh, we got one, good. But we don't care. Like it doesn't matter if we ever got one. We're happy to hang out with each other,
100%. And I kind of started shifting into more of a mentor role with hunting with my veteran friends. So back in 2022, I was invited to Wyoming for an antelope hunt, and I shot a gorgeous trophy antelope. The horns curled in, got ivory tips on them. And I took my buddy Jim Darling, Marine Corps veteran. He's actually friends with the guy that created Baywatch. He's from California.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's so fucking cool. And Jim is just
Was it his idea for the slow-mo?
Hasselhoff.
I talk about, he's actually a registered Los Angeles lifeguard. And every time he goes with me anywhere, I have to have my lifeguard. It's an ongoing joke now. I got my lifeguard, right? So we're in a duck boat. I got a lifeguard. And but anyway, so he's never hunted ever in his life. He grew up in Southern California. Not happening, right? So so what's going on?
I'm interrupting. Matt said it's the Horicon Marsh Veterans Hunt. Is that the same thing?
Horicon Marsh Veteran Hunt. Yep.
Okay, that's when he goes to.
Yep.
Sorry,
Matt who?
Matt Strime. He's one of the hosts of the Okayest Fisher.
Oh.
He also owns Weathered Oaks.
I wonder if
he's also really, really amazing, very overly humble 3D archer, like tournament guy.
I wonder if he goes to that?
He goes it every year.
Oh, I wonder if I probably ran into him. I go there.
Yeah, I'll have to. If you haven't, we'll make an intro.
That'd be great. So Jimbo asked me, he's like, "Hey man, I really want to get into hunting. I live in Wisconsin now. Like everyone says you're kind of the guy to maybe help me find a place to land." And I'm just like, funny you should ask. There's actually a spot open on this antelope hunt in Wyoming. And he's just like, I'm in. I'm like, okay. So he puts his DD-214 in. The organization is called Take 'em Outdoors. Shad Locke up in Green Bay has done an incredible job. Been doing this over 20 years. It's not a veteran organization. Part of his mission is veterans, but he started off with people with like terminal illnesses and children. Phenomenal dude, right? So Jim gets on the trip, and end of October, I think it was 2022, we just rip out to Gillette, Wyoming in one day, that was a hike. And we meet the ranch owner, 50,000 acre ranch.
So just a little one.
That's exactly.
That's a little one.
That's just a little one. That's That's just a little one.
It's
And
a
I'm
little
over-
different out
and I'm
west,
like,
isn't it?
I'm like 50,000. That's like half Wisconsin. And he's like, my neighbor's got 250,000. I'm like, that's like half the country, according to this map, right? It's like Dumb and Dumber style. Like, according to this, Lloyd, we've only gone 3 inches. So we get him out there, and long story short, we're in the so the way that you hunt on the property, at least when we did, so Jerry, the ranch owner, would be in his 05 Chevy Silverado. The hunters are in the back of the truck, and we're just chasing antelope on his ranch, and it looks like Mad Max style. Like, we're in the bed of the truck, and he's like, if he says that's a shooter, that's a shooter. Like, he knows.
Well, then what happens?
What do you mean?
Like you're on, like it's like.
No, we have to come to a complete stop.
Okay,
right?
thanks for clarifying.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm thinking like you're like basically on horses, like shooting, but the horse is a
Mad
truck.
Max coming. Everything in turret, 50 cal.
Yeah.
Like, how many bodies?
Not yet.
Oh, well,
Not yet.
maybe next year.
Yeah, next year. So so we're just getting after it, and I shot my antelope. I had the longest shot of the day, 262 yards, and the
Nice.
antelope are really easy because they give you a point of reference. Like, they have the tan and the white, and it's basically a 90-degree corner. You just aim for that corner, and that's the heart.
That's
just-
kind of nice.
I remember that 90-degree corner from shooting 3D.
Yeah.
It's
that's where it is,
right where it is.
right there.
I
So
just learned something new.
6.5 Creed dropped him, and then 262 yards, and then it was Jimbo's turn, and I'm in the truck with my buddy, and I watched him drop an antelope, and he's actually in the back of the seat, so he opens his door, rests the gun in the windowsill, and he shoots it, and then it drops, and I'm like, oh well, you can take the boy out of California, but you can't take California out of the boy. Basically just did a drive by on him. But I give him a hard time.
Did he say break yourself?
No? But I was at that, I just shot my antelope and I didn't get to celebrate. So I was using my celebration for my buddy Jim and watching a friend of mine get a win, get a W. I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is like the greatest feeling I've ever had. Like, it's not guaranteed. Like, what we do in the woods is never guaranteed. Like, you could spend hours upon
if I
hours.
could chase him down with a truck, I don't know.
Right. I mean, it makes it a lot easier. But then, follow up to spring of 23, we sat in a turkey blind together. We had the same tag, and we punched two toms at the same time.
You doubled them?
Yeah.
That's
So
super cool.
He shot one, I shot one, and I'm scratch calling him in. And I'm not like expert, but it works. And so he got his first turkey, and then fall of 2023 took him to Horicon, got his first goose, his first duck. His first duck was a mallard hen. And I watched him drop him, and I'm just like, he's like, this is fucking awesome. And then what else we do? I think that's, and then this year we had him in a blind across the street to see if he can get his first whitetail. He missed. Super sad. I haven't stopped reminding him.
Good, yeah.
that he sucks.
You should send him a text after this. Just
well,
let him know.
I
We
think
talked about it. His mess. To make him feel
now it's
good.
on the record. But I think, we can all talk about it. I mean, like, you need those moments of humble pie in hunting.
Oh, if you haven't had it in a while, you're probably due for a good slice.
Yeah, if you start with too much success, it's almost harder when you finally get that slice of humble pie. Whether if you start where you're like, don't get anything for like 4 years,
Sure.
then you finally get it. It's like, oh shit,
Right.
okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But when you start hot, it's tough.
It's pretty hard. And that week for that bear hunt, I was the only one out of 8-9 vets that got a bear. And the week prior, they had another session. Everyone got a bear except one person. So I roll in and I get a bear, and I'm just like, this is like, and it's 9 bear. I can't believe it happened. But I mean, super lucky. I brought and that's where the Crisco story comes into play. So I have to tell you guys the Crisco story if you guys would entertain me really quick.
Oh, of course.
So the guide we had Maine Master guides, and they have this really cool patch. I had Big Al. Big Al is like 5'3", Vietnam War vet, right? And I introduced myself the night before. I'm like, hey Al, my name's Ryan. Nice to meet you. I'm really excited. And he's like, we're gonna shoot bears. Hey, we're gonna shoot some bears. And I was like, all right, well,
All
I'm
business.
excited.
All right.
This guy walks in full BDUs. I'm just like, that's my fucking guide. That's my guide. That guy's walking like he owns the place. Like he looks like, like straight up like General Custer, like walking around this place. BDU ever, head to toe. I'm just like, this guy is about to go back to Vietnam, right? I'm like, that's my guide. I'm so excited. Anyway, so the next morning I wake up and we were supposed to meet him down by the woodline. They have like this mock bear blind, which is not a blind. It's just a branch with leaves in front of it. And you just stare like it's nothing. And I'm like, hey, good morning, Al. And I'm wearing like a blue shirt and black shorts and my fanny pack. And he's like, good morning, Crisco. And that's it. That's where Crisco came from.
What?
That's it. That's all. That's the story. And it happened right in front of Joe, the founder of UVA. And I'm like, I look at Joe. I'm like, no, don't do it. He's like, I think we got a new nickname.
Crisco it is.
He starts texting every single person at the Horicon Hunt. And within an hour and a half, there was memes. Crisco this, Crisco that. So fast forward to me leaving, and I'm carrying my bear meat through TSA, right? And to put it on the plane. And I get flagged for my backpack. These fucking assholes put a bottle of Crisco in my backpack. And the
Over 8 ounces.
That's what stopped you.
Those bastards.
one of those little like this big TSAs. They're like, do you want this? And I'm just like, no, I don't want this. And then I text them. I'm like, you guys are a bunch of assholes to the group text. And I guess Joe just blurted out laughing, and he's like, well, my bear hunt's done. Like, he was still in the woods because
he was right there. Oh my gosh.
So super funny. I mean, I think it's silly, but anyway. But
It is silly, but it's fun.
Veterans hunting is like, in this past year, I have a private spot in the Brilliant Marsh now for ducks, and I brought out my buddy, he was my XO in Iraq, so I brought him out, and I brought Jimbo out again, and he had 6 teal land within 5 feet of him, and he missed all of them, and then his gun jammed. And I'm just like, oh god,
Sounds like Tyler Meaden.
Ooh,
He
shots
didn't-
fired
he didn't-
or not.
Yeah, shots will be fired, but he isn't hitting them. It's proof. I'm like, go watch the show. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm not even talking trash. I'm just speaking reality. I find it very funny. He got very obsessed with duck hunting this last year.
God, it's so much fun.
I don't get it. Birds aren't my jam.
Have you done it?
Yeah, I went duck hunting once. I hunted a marsh, and I was in waders, and like,
Yeah.
the ducks weren't there.
It's probably because they weren't there.
And that was kind of like, and also like the ones that flew by.
Were they really
And
high?
my buddy Scott was calling him. I'm like, how do you know what the fuck that is? Like, there's different kinds of ducks. I can't just shoot that one. Don't shoot that one. That one's a coot. That one's this is that diver. I'm like, and he's getting excited about certain types of ducks. I was like, what? I don't know enough about this world to understand what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was just like, I just want to sit down, but I can't. I'm just standing in this mucky water. Damn it. So I was fine. I remember eating some beef sticks. That was about it. I don't know. It was like a long haul, long sit, all this stuff. And I can understand why good gear is really important when you're duck hunting, because you sure as shit don't want to be cold or wet or both of those things. So staying dry and warm is very important.
I think you and I are both interested in that chasing adventure fella.
Yeah.
The
that looks
canoe
cool.
duck hunting looks so fun to me. If I could float down a river and just get ready around corners and I'm like flush them up and shoot them from my canoe, I'd do that all day. Like, that sounds
cool.
so fun.
Did you guys read that story? I don't know who posted it about the canoe that they would tip. So they would be in a canoe, and what they would do is they would actually favor one side, and it would look like a log, and there'd be hunters, but it would be like tipped, and it'd look like a log to ducks. So then when the canoe was passing the ducks, they'd come over and they'd just shoot all the ducks. You never read that? You never read that? That's a legit.
I'm not a duck hunter. I don't see this content.
So I forgot. It's gonna think it's called the log blind. I mean, you might want to fact check me on this. I read it. I don't remember where I read it, but I'm like,
community notes, Facebook people, get on it.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of like river hunting,
Yeah.
like I think duck hunting is incredibly challenging, and like,
I'm sure it is.
It's so much fun, and like, especially when you like start obsessing over it and you get to do like a solo hunt and it actually works out really well. I'm like, oh yeah, like this is great. But in watching my friends achieve something it's intoxicating.
Cool. Yeah. Anytime you can have someone else get a win that you care about, it's almost better than when you do.
Sure.
Like, it's just great.
I was supposed
It's like
to
gift giving versus gift getting. Like at Christmas, you give your kids a gift and it's like, just watching their faces light up.
Right.
I don't give a shit about. Don't give me anything. Let's
Right.
get just them stuff. Like that's how it feels.
I was supposed to have an elk hunt this year. I was asked to go on an elk hunt, but I turned it down yesterday. Actually,
Really?
Yeah, they want to spend 7 days on the side of a mountain in Montana, and I have sleep apnea, and I can't go without my machine, and it's kind of a bummer. Like it's just like super.
No,
like,
dude, you
absolute
can.
bummer.
A client at work who's been on this podcast. I'm trying to do that camera, but I think you're in the way, so it doesn't work. Sorry, Derek. Anyway,
Big old head.
I just noticed it.
Huge.
Uncharted Supply. I remember because I ran their affiliate program, and we sent out email blasts and stuff to all the affiliate partners. And through doing that, one of the partners who I wasn't aware that we were even like working with necessarily, it's a very big network, responded with a note about there's a whole organization of people that have sleep apnea that have to keep these machines working when they're outdoors camping and hiking and so forth. And so they had asked about some of the charging units that we had that could like keep these things powered on and charged up and going and so forth. It was quite interesting, actually. I'd have to like go back and maybe find the comments from a lot of like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But
most of the research I've done is like you can only get like a night and a half at best.
there's a lot of technology nowadays, man. I don't know.
I've been researching it the last week
You
and a
probably
half.
know more than I do, but
I mean, I looked at buying a travel sleep app machine, a ResMed travel one.
okay.
It's like this big. That's $1,000 by itself,
Holy crap.
and then batteries for it are $400 a piece, and then solar panels. So I'd be $2,000 some
And your
dollars.
pack's like weighing 1,000 pounds.
Right. So I'm like, I'll be almost a couple thousand in before I even hit the mountain.
Jeez.
Like, I'm just like, you guys,
Why
like,
don't you get those magnet things for your nose?
they don't work because it's not your nose; you're swallowing your tongue.
Don't do that.
So there also is the
Damn it.
Can you put like a chip clip on the end of your tongue that keeps it like,
That would be painful.
there's also the Inspire. You've seen the Inspire, right? It's so what
We
it
don't
is-
have sleep. No, I have no idea.
so in the Inspire.
My dad does. He probably knows what's going on.
Oh, yeah, my bad. You guys aren't. Yeah. The Inspire is electric current that actually stimulates the tongue so it doesn't fall backwards, so it stays put. But the problem with the surgery is that they cut open your neck next to your carotid artery,
oh,
and they put.
Fuck that.
what's the problem?
So I'm like, and then they put the device right here, so you just use the
You
remote.
look like
and-
Iron Man.
And I'm just like, yeah, it's a
I
no
don't know
go. That's a
if
no
that's
go.
worth
I'll
it.
just use the
I don't know if
machine.
that's worth it.
Yeah, the
I had
machine's fine.
I had a kidney stone, and they had to go through the tip to get the kidney stone.
I've
I
heard
was like,
those are terrible.
It's off. I had a 6 millimeter kidney stone last
That's
year.
big.
It was awful. It
I
was,
heard it's the worst thing in the world.
for men. It was awful. Like I vomited so hard. I actually had a subconjunctional hemorrhage. I popped a blood vessel in my eye. That's how hard I vomited. It was
From pain.
From pain.
Let's
was
move
awful.
on.
He's like,
I can't.
I don't want to talk about it.
Like I have a theory on life that life is pretty good. Like I have nothing to complain about.
Right.
By and large, life is
Sure.
good. And then I get concerned that it's been good for a while. Something's bound to get fucked.
Yeah.
And so then I'm just constantly in this turmoil of like, every time my phone rings, it's my wife. I'm like, what happened? Is something? Is it bad now?
I knew it. Shit.
I start panicking. So
Oh, you're having a
like,
great
oh,
day.
It's a kidney stone. Oh no! Like I'm freak out. You know.
Yeah. I'm hunting. Just to circle back really quick, is that I look forward. Like turkey season's coming up. Going to probably go to Camp Victory to hunt turkeys in Clark County. That's where my tag's at. And I think Jimbo's going to come with me.
Cool.
And but obviously we're on the Okayest Hunter podcast, and I've really just like and
Do you listen to the podcast?
yeah, I usually watch the stream, and
Okay.
I troll the shit out of you guys sometimes.
That's good. I don't expect that people would listen, but they do.
No, I do. I definitely do. And I appreciate what you guys have created. And because people need to understand, like, you're not going to be the greatest at everything you do. And it's okay.
Well, that's a fact.
Right. 100%. But
People-
it's okay to suck at stuff too.
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
okay to suck.
Yeah.
Like I am like, when I put a hunting trip together, I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it. Like, and if it works out, it works out.
Hell
like
yeah.
it is like if it's a military operation, everyone dies. I'm sorry. Like, everyone dies.
So
This is a
terrible.
no-win
This is
situation.
like, yeah, it's like, sorry, like everyone for themselves. Sorry.
300. All right, guys.
Yeah.
We're all gonna go die.
But hunting for me, it's just like it's turkey season comes. Like there's nothing really for me to do. And I'm not. not a big fisher. Like my godfather taught me how to fish. I'm just not. I did a chartered king salmon trip a couple years ago. I caught a 17-pound king salmon.
But those aren't that fun.
Well, that was actually pretty fun. It was just big mon.
I'm with you on that. That's not my cup of tea.
600 feet of like
Yeah, it's just a lot of
line.
work and then flies.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
potentially seasickness if you take your eyes off the horizon for too long.
That's real. Seasickness is real.
Happened to me
That's
once.
not fun.
Yeah.
I was like, I always judge people hard. I'm like, ooh, you pussy, you get seasickness, pansy.
Right.
And then it happened to me once. I was like, I just
My
didn't
God.
talk to
Oh my
anybody.
God.
I was like, just don't. I'll be fine. Don't talk to me. And I was like, now I understand. It just can happen. It can just happen.
My poor mom gets car sick, right? Like she's got motion sickness. But when we drove to Iowa this past weekend, we were just going there to go do some walking. And I brought my son and my parents came with. And my mom's sitting shotgun and we're driving through the driftless region. And I'm like, Mom, I'm real sorry. Like it's all bluffs and valleys. Like I'm going to take it slow. She's like, wait, so the roads are like, is it really bad?
Do you remember
Then-
driving back from Iowa?
Then she sees a sign and it just has like this on it. She's like, oh my God. And we had to pull over. She threw up. She threw up
that's
twice.
awful. Oh my
We had to
gosh.
stop and get Dramamine and Quick Trip. It was like,
Oh my
I bought
God.
like 8 packs of Dramamine.
Does Quick Trip sell Dramamine?
Yeah, they do.
I
If
did
you
not
guys
know
ever need it, they're like a soft, chewable tube.
that. See you next time.
Yeah. Shout out to
Oh,
KT,
gosh.
man. That's awesome.
That's
I,
crazy.
I forgot to mention that, with the hunting stuff, I'm headed to Western Hunt Expo tomorrow.
Okay.
So if you guys have never been to Western Hunt,
No, not yet. Not that one.
I think it's the largest hunting expo on the West Coast, the west side of the country.
Probably.
And it's massive.
Sheep Show's a big deal. Western Hunt Expo is a big. I
What's
know
the one in Nashville this weekend too?
NWTF is a big consumer show. That's a very popular show.
Yes.
Like I feel like that show is now the official Cool Kids Club. I mean, it's
So then
like
what is Western Hunt then?
I don't know. I think it's like another. Well, Western's like they're too good for us.
It's a huge expo downtown Salt Lake City, and I went last year, and the amount of vendors and the people, and it's not like I've never been to SHOT Show. I know you were just there.
That one is not
That's
normal.
That's not normal, right? It's physically impossible to see everything at SHOT Show, from what I've been told. Whereas
true.
Western Hunt, it's so big, like it's big enough, but you can still see everything,
Mhm.
and it's filled with people that are just looking for knowledge and excitement, and just maybe face to face with some products. Like I invested in crispy boots for my bear hunt. They're super comfortable, right? They're like really, really
Yeah,
comfortable
I've
boots.
heard good things.
This year, I think Lucky Duck will be there for Lucky Duck decoys. They're actually made right here in
Okay.
Baldwin, Wisconsin.
Sweet.
Matthews Archery will be there. A bunch of other. Who else? There's another bunch of other companies. Montana Knife Company will be there. And I just go and I just kind of just talk to these people. Nosler will be there. I know Nosler's there every year. I think Gerber will be there this year too. I think.
I think you're right about that. Say hi to all of those guys for us.
Sure.
Give them our best.
Vertex is obviously always there. And it's just cool. I mean, like for people, I know for a lot of people, leaving the state, and people save their money for.
Is it a consumer show?
That means like for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like
I
it's like Shots in Industry. ATA is an industry show. Like it's not open to the consumer public.
Okay. Yeah. So it is a consumer show.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I didn't know that. I didn't know the nomenclature.
I guess I have a lingo I don't know about, or that I forget.
I learned something new. That's fine.
I was talking to Derek before he got down here, before you showed up. I'm like, I'm not even sure you understood half of what I was saying.
I understood very little, but I was very supportive of my nods. And really, like when people say really, they have no
I was
clue what
like,
you're talking about.
I wonder if I should probably, okay. It's like when you talk about big buck stuff, I'm like, that's what you're paying attention to? Can you go back up for a second? You just glossed over something that I think should be probably pretty important.
I think there's a little bit of, we're both speaking different languages to each other. There's some cross-contamination going on a little bit.
And I'll actually see a mutual friend that Jules McQueen from Carbon.
Oh, yeah.
She'll be
Yeah,
there.
I just talked to her last week because we're on Carbon TV, and they are doing a bunch of updates and really cool things. So,
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have failed miserably in uploading my podcasts to Carbon.
Same. I told her that, and I said, "Look, I'm sorry. I just I have to upload here, and then by the time I'm like, oh, I forgot."
Right.
So it's just not good, but it's a sign that I should probably hire someone to do these
Right.
things, these tasks.
Right.
But yeah,
So she'll be there with her fiance, Brendan. And I texted her.
Can you talk to her about getting maybe if we join forces, we could get a Chevy truck?
God, love another Chevy. I drive a Chevy truck. And
A joint work truck.
Yeah.
speaking of Chevy truck, I didn't know Oconomowoc has Chevy trucks for I'm sorry, Oconomowoc
They
Police
have
Department.
oh, yeah, I don't know if they have. Do
No.
they have Chevys?
Oh yeah, one drove right past me. It was a Chevy Silverado, just like mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
I've never seen that one before. I've seen the SUVs.
No, it was it was my truck. I was like, oh, Oconomowoc's got money. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they do have money here. It's a problem.
Yeah. Last time I was on
One day I hope to have money.
the last time I was on Oconomowoc, I think it was like right before I went to basic training. I dated a girl here, and she sent me
Her name wasn't Holly, was it?
no.
Good.
I got a John Deere letter from her, and
When you were in boot camp?
yeah,
That bitch.
yeah. And
What the fuck?
and
Let's look her
Just
up.
wait.
but I was also here. I just left the day after.
She's like, finally he's gone. I'll break up with him.
Remember the I don't know how long you lived here, but the church that blew up all those years ago
No,
downtown Oconomowoc.
my wife grew up here, but I didn't.
I bet ask her about the church that blew up in like 2006-7 time frame.
Oh, she would know about that.
Yeah, the gas leak, it like right across the street from the amphitheater.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing. I was making out with that girl in that parking lot the night before.
You arson? Did you have something to do with it?
I
They
had
like
nothing to do with it.
interrogate you?
Nah, don't do that.
You had like a security clearance or
Yeah,
anything?
no,
Did that
Pushed
come
her up on the
in your-
propane tank.
Dude, they're watching, man.
Did they probe you?
What are you doing?
Get a lie detector test
Don't do
going
that.
here.
Don't do that.
Jeez.
But Western Hunt's great, and
He's a podcaster. He knows how to switch a subject.
Well done, sir.
Good job.
but there's a lot of other people out there. I got a handful of friends out there, and Salt Lake is gorgeous. But
It's so fun to go to these things because you do get to see all your pen pals. That's kind of how I put it. Your
100%.
digital pen pals.
Well,
It's so fun.
do you know Tyler? I think from Knocked Performance.
I don't think
podcast?
so.
So he's going to be out there. I haven't met him, but we've always been throwing messages back and forth. He does a great
This is the first time you and I have met in person. I
100%.
feel like well, no, that's not true. Because
Yes, it is.
we used to go to the HHA USA stuff all the time, but I don't know that you were ever there when we were there.
Probably. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think we've ever
We did.
crossed
That's why I
paths.
got these damn speakers because we did the live. We brought all the stuff to Chris Ham's events for HHA USA and did some podcasting there,
Sure.
like where you'd see us talking, but you could hear it from the
That's awesome.
whatever. I mean, it was kind of interesting to do that. Craig and I did that for I think we did 2 or 3 of them, but
Yeah.
it was hard to like go commit to more stuff. And he
Yeah.
had so many of those things he was doing. I was like, Chris, we can't make all these.
Yeah.
Like, I have a
100%.
job. Like, 'cause this is really neat, but it's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, we're not the 3D archery stuff. You know, Foam Fest. I really want to try to get to your Foam Fest. I'm not doing an archery event this year
Mhm.
because I've been doing archery events like a lot. Not doing one this year. I got the other thing that got coming up, the barbecue car
Yeah,
show
that
stuff.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, and if one of you wanted to come, I can talk to the other people that are planning it. But we need judges for the ribs.
I'm not sure. Okayest Cook, you could talk to Chris Wansettler. He's in Indiana, so I don't know if he'll make it up or not, but it's kind of neat to have a judge. Maybe some Okayest Cook flavoring could go on to that
Sure.
in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
I'm always.
I just like food. I don't know that I would be a good. I did my first, I guess, on the Okayest
I'll
Cook
eat them.
podcast recently.
all.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
in Indiana, so I did an
Yeah.
episode with those guys when we were at like a bakery. And these guys are describing food and using words that I've never deliberately used to describe food.
Sure.
My brain wasn't understanding. I was like, oh, I don't know how to describe. It's just food and it's in my mouth and now it's gone. Like, you guys describe the notes of the flavor of it was very different for me. So
Wow.
like, it makes me think like if I
Yeah.
were to be a judge, I wouldn't be good because I wouldn't know what to say about it. I'd be like, yeah, they're good.
This one is good.
I taste like
This one's-
they would all taste good to me. Like, no one's gonna make a bad rib.
This one's gooder.
Yeah, like, what are we
this is
talking?
really
What
good.
am I rating these on here?
Well, there's like a matrix, like
And then,
overall.
could you imagine
look
hurting
and
someone's
taste
feeling
and-
that put all that effort into it? Like, it tastes like shit. They'd be like,
Fuck 'em.
I'm out.
fuck 'em. I mean,
I'll get one more though before I go.
You'd be like at a beer tasting, you'd be like, good job in the
Good
brewery,
job,
and you
dude.
just walk away. You wouldn't like continue on. But if you knew it was good, you'd be like talking that. What'd you use to these? How'd you make this? You'd watch the other guy just mean mugging you, like, so you like his better.
Son of a bitch.
that's funny. That's so. Yeah. No, I mean,
Piss in his beer.
I was a judge for a rib contest last summer. and
What did you do? How did you rate them?
So there's a sheet, and you follow like
There's a guideline.
It's a rubric.
tenderness, aftertaste, overall look, overall flavor.
These are all things, descriptors that I'm talking about. Like,
Well, it gives you like what you're looking for, like tenderness is like, so like when you bite
Fall
it,
off
does it come off the bone easy, or does it take a little effort? And
if it's a fucking competition, there's going to be a level of, they're all going to be really good, right? Right?
No.
It's like the NFL. They should all be able to catch the damn ball, you know?
Well, tell that to
They
Travis
still
Kelce.
fumble. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, he should.
Not
That's what I'm
sorry.
saying.
Hey, Travis.
Not
Hey,
sorry.
Travis, just shake it off. So
We did that last season, or last week.
that's funny. But so with the rib contest, there was a guy, he made ribs over like at one of those open pit like barbecues.
Mhm.
Awful. It was absolutely awful.
Just
Like,
dry
it
it
was
out.
It's just horrible.
Did you tell him that?
They were raw. Like I bit into it and it was still
That's
raw.
what you want. Savage.
Wow, this is so
Can I get medium rare ribs?
juicy that it's not even cooked.
So biggest
Just gnawing on it.
biggest misconception with ribs is people think that if it's fall off the bone, it's perfect. That's actually overcooked meat. Congratulations, you just fucked a rack of ribs. That's not how you want ribs. You want ribs. So when I cook my ribs, I want my ribs at like 190 degrees, maybe just close to 200. Because when you bite it, you want a full bite of meat. You want it to be. You don't want it to fall off. You want it kind of just firm, but not loose, right? So that's how you
describing things that are very firm, but not. This is tricky.
Yeah.
All I know is
yeah.
low and slow.
You and I should just go eat them. We're not.
I'm not just gonna go
qualified
eat. I'm not gonna
to
judge it, but
We're
I
not
would like to
qualified.
just participate.
Sure. And then there's aftertaste. So like, what are they using dry rub? Are they using a little bit of barbecue sauce? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I do like barbecue sauce, but I tell you what, some of these individuals can make really good dry rub. You don't even need barbecue sauce with dry
I
rub.
believe that.
It's barbecue it's a secret love language of mine. And
Oh,
I
I bet.
have three Traegers.
It's not a secret
like,
anymore.
I have 3 fucking Traegers. I don't need 3 Traegers, but we live in America and I'm allowed to do what I want. I'm going to have 3 Traegers. I smoked an entire pig on one of my Traegers.
Should have brought him some of the pigs from Texas. I ended up grinding up a bunch of it.
That's
to
one of the
make
things we
with
want to
my
give away this year
venison burger.
at Foam Fest is probably not a Traeger, but like a Blackstone,
Mm,
a camping one.
pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Gerber Gear has a lot of camping stuff now. Like they have a whole camping utensil line that they just came out with.
That's awesome.
So like we're probably gonna do
Maybe
some really fun. Not that it's for camping. I mean, it could be, but certainly your tailgate stuff in the deer woods and all that jazz. So
I'm not having like professional barbecuers. I'm having like
yeah, but
driveway, backyard.
but that's the passion is what's gonna get them there. That's what I'm saying. These guys probably dabble in it enough that they're pretty damn good.
well,
They're
right.
gonna be better than me. I'm not gonna compete.
Right.
You know, but if you're like, I'm gonna go compete, you've probably like putzed around with this for long enough to do a damn good job.
Right. Well, if you think about it, like if I invite a professional barbecuer, that's like asking the Packers to play a flag football game.
Yeah.
Like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have like someone that like me that's passionate about it, that's going to show up, and I'm going to put all the effort in the world I can to this because this is like I love doing.
Well,
this,
that's
right?
what the judge should be like a professional.
No, because you want an unbiased palate.
Oh,
See, you see what I did there?
yeah, I suppose
Right.
so.
So I have Tom Farley coming in as one of the
Oh, that's fun.
yeah. So Tom said he'd come. So he's like you should just lead with that. Like I told him, I was like, hey man, you want to come to my event August 9th? We're doing this, and this,
And it's like when you ask a friend to move, you're kind of like already like railing off, like, no, I have to
and then I was like,
sit on my couch that day.
and I was like, he's like, what do you need me to do? I was like, oh, I need you to taste test 15 racks of ribs, and he's like, lead with that next time. What are you doing? It's like it was like a monologue, and he's just like, dude, you could have just
We
that
could've
was way
skipped a
more.
lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
that was way dumb of you. What are you doing?
Do I
When
have
do
to
I need
do
to
all that
taste?
other stuff, or can I just do the rib part?
He just shows up and leaves. He's just like, all right, thanks for the ribs, dummy.
So just so the folks know, I'm assuming you have a website and podcast. You're on Carbon. Where are all the places? How should people get involved?
Oh yeah, I forgot I have a podcast. Yeah, so the Fragout Podcast is available on all major platforms like Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Castbox, Pod Addicts. I don't know.
Where do you
There's,
post yours, by the way?
Lipsing?
Okay,
Yeah.
Libsyn?
Yeah, so there's like 42 platforms, and like I don't get any of the data from like a majority of them. Actually, I don't believe in data. I think it's all bullshit, to be honest with you. One website says I have like 20,000 downloads a month, and the other one says I have 100. So I'm just like, I don't believe. There's no, and like it's kind
There's
of
no
like
evidence.
there's no real evidence, right?
Yeah.
And then like Chartable actually went down, so Chartable's not even
They're gone. Yeah.
they're gone. So the Chartable's like not even a source anymore. And it's kind of like Netflix. Netflix doesn't release any of their data ever, right? So it's like I'm just like, you know what? This is what I have. This is what I do, and I love what I do, guys, and I know you guys love what you guys do. And if some key episodes, if people are interested, is they get better over time because the audio equipment got a little better. But I mean, episode 100 is a really good one. I interviewed Bill Pickrell, World War II D-Day veteran, second wave, Omaha Beach.
Wow.
So he lives in Milwaukee. He's like 98 years old. The guy is just Battle of the Bulge, Silver Star vet, like Omaha Beach, like Saving Private.
That's incredible, yeah.
And then episode 1, forgot Brendan's episode. Brendan Wagner, my buddy, he died a couple years ago. He had a seizure, hit his head, didn't wake up. His episode pretty much changed my life in the sense of you don't know anyone's story until they tell you, kind of thing. And then last year, there's 240 plus, but I think one of my favorite episodes I just did last year was with Jessica Lynch. She was a POW in the Iraq War, 3-hour-long podcasts, and I consider like that my master class of an episode. Just 3 hours, layer by layer by layer. So you think about it, it's on the show. So website fragoutpodcast.com. I'm also associated with Mortgage Nerds. So Mortgage Nerds is like my biggest sponsor. That's where my office is, and they actually hired me as their events coordinator. So now we're going around the state of Wisconsin educating veterans on the VA home loan, which is
that's great.
Which is the greatest benefit veterans have to build wealth. And there's so many misconceptions about it. There's actually realtors that actually talk veterans how to use it, and that's just because they're not educated on it. And it's the greatest benefit that veterans have, and they are so focused on education. So they hired me to schedule their events so we can teach veterans how to.
That's great.
That's awesome. It's intoxicating to be around people like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
good gig.
Yeah.
The gig you needed was right under your nose the whole time.
What's that?
It was right under your nose the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I lost my job end of September last year, and I was a consultant for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, and they didn't renew the contract, and I took some time off and did a lot of hunting, and they just offered me something I couldn't say no to. So I was like,
super cool.
Let's do it.
All right, mortgage nerds.
Yeah.
I'm your veteran nerd. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And Mike and Brian, they've created such a great place, and they treat me like an equal. There's another veteran in the office, but Mike and Brian aren't veterans. Their dads served in the military, and it's really cool.
That's why they need you.
Yeah,
I mean, for real. Yeah.
Well, I'm teaching them how to use military lingo, and they're teaching me how to do like mortgage lingo. So he's like, Ryan, I need you to go to the place for the event, and I need you to take pictures and like send me them back. I'm like, Mike, just tell me you need me to recon. He's like, oh, I need you to recon. I was like, okay. And then like he tries to like, no, you need like VA home loan. It doesn't matter what your credit score is for the VA home loan. There's no minimum credit score, but for lenders there might be. I'm like, oh, okay, yes, me dumb, you smart.
I love it. Yeah. That's great. Well, thanks for trekking out here, dude.
Yeah.
I think you kind of had to be in town anyway, so it worked out really well. So
100%. Yeah, we booked this like a while ago.
Yeah, it took a little bit to come around. But anytime we do it in person, I appreciate it more. It's just a different vibe than the virtual. Nothing against the virtual because it works fine, but just saying like this is a really fun experience. So
yeah,
it's happy to have you down here.
I appreciate the hell. Did
it meet your standards? It's a fucking shit show.
No. I mean, I really don't think. I mean, hopefully you guys agree. Like, there shouldn't really be a standard of like what a podcast studio looks like. If it works and it's functional and it's fun and it's a destination, that's why I created my studio. I mean, like I told you, I have a basketball-sized 3D printed grenade now on my fucking table.
It's cool.
Like, it should be a destination. This is a destination, right? And kudos to you guys. Like, I mean, you guys are crushing it, and it's good to be around.
Likewise, man. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Good stuff. Well, I think that's everything. I think Greg's back next week, maybe. Hopefully, he's busy traveling for work, so he's a traveling man. Let me look at the calendar. I'll see if I can do a good job of trying to like. What
we still live?
Yeah.
Oh, so can I really just do a shout out for the event? August
Please
9th?
do.
Do what you got to do.
So I guess I'll announce it. Barrels and Barbecue Car Show is the name of it. August 9th at Genesis Impact Sports in is it Kimberly, Little Chute, Wisconsin,
Little
whatever.
Chute.
And so that's where the event's going to be, and we're still in the planning phases. But I'd love if you guys would come up and just hang out.
Super cool.
If you guys are car guys or barbecue guys or gun guys,
all of the above would be amazing.
Yeah,
and we're raising money for UVA Ultimate Veteran Adventures.
Great, that's the one you're talking about. So
yeah.
It's good. No, that's great. Thank you. I was going to say nothing next week as far as guests. So I don't know. Hopefully you and or Greg are around. We'll figure that one out. The following week, the last week of this month, I think Mark Kenyon rescheduled. He was sick. Now he's healthy. Hopefully that stays that way. And we're going to talk about conservation and all the things that are happening in the way of like public lands right now. And, we'll get into some of that stuff. And then beyond that, there's nothing else. I have a couple folks that are like, we're trying to pull in. So I'll keep that on the wraps for now, but we'll have some other guests that are probably going to start booking here soon. I don't have anything. I'm tired. So that's it.
Shout out Quick Trip. I love you too.
See you in like 20 minutes.
You got to go to the hot food. That's the jam right now.
I got motion sickness.
Get some Dramamine. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You have a good night.